Welcome all to yet another video. Dr. R.S. and you on the science of cosmetics and personal care products. Today we will be discussing about product development. Right? So what I intend to discuss is, this is part 43, product development. First, I will tell you the steps for product development. What are the various steps for a product development? And we will take the formulation development role alone from the product development and expand the role of formulation development department in the whole product development activity. So, we will discuss about the product development, right? What are the aspects of product development? The first aspect of product development is to develop a marketing brief. The marketing brief, before writing the marketing brief, what all has to be found or be clear is, what is the brand, who are the target consumers, what are the claims from the product, meaning what is the purpose of the product, right? It can be a product for blemish, it can be a product for acne. Then what is going to be the claim? So for example, we might have a high technology product, right? We would have invented a patented molecule and we would have used in that product, but that product works very well. But we want to target that product for a mass consumer who can't understand what is patenting, what is the technology and all those aspects. So we are giving a very good product to the mass consumers, but still we want the consumers to understand the product and use it. Then what is the strategy? Because that has to be decided initially, so that during formulation development those aspects are built in the product. So what is going to be the proposition that can be built in the final product? That is very, very important. That is claims. Then cost. So based on the target consumer, what can be the cost, formulation cost for the product, formulation and packaging, what is the final cost of the product, and benchmarks. Is it a new technology altogether, or there are benchmarks for the product, right? I want this product and this has to be developed, and currently these are the products in the market which are similar to this. Then the most important aspect is, we have to think and find out why the consumer will move to your product leaving their current brand, current product. That also has to be thought about. So a marketing brief has to be written with lot of input from the consumers. The product development team and marketing team should work together finding this out, right? Benchmarks, right? Then the formulation development. This formulation development is the one which I am going to expand into various steps, right? That we will do. So the formulation development is one. The other thing is the packaging development. Packaging has to be developed. Product validation, clinical studies, consumer studies. Packaging artwork has to be created. So artwork means the design on the pack, how the product name should appear, what is the design, what color, right? What are the other designs in the pack? Has to be, actually packaging artwork approval takes lot of time, right? This is a very critical area. quality and regulatory compliance, what level, then sourcing of raw materials, packaging materials, then regulatory approvals, meaning that you are manufacturing in a country, the local country authority should approve the manufacturing, right? Packaging, the product, everything. So that is the local regulatory approvals, then advertising development, right? Then upscale trials. This is sourcing of raw materials and packaging material, then regulatory approvals, then advertising development, upscaling trials. Product, you have to upscale, right? Pilot plant, upscaling, then production planning and launch of the product broadly. But we will just see the formulation development. What are the steps in formulation development? That is very important for the people seeing the video. Most probably we are developing a formula, right, for a cosmetics and personal care products, and so what are the steps that are very important to develop a formula, right? That is very, very critical. So formulation development, right? What are the steps? Formulation development, right? Always the formulation development department should look for new technologies, right? Might be the new technology come from the formulation development itself in terms of formulations, but there are other aspects like active ingredient development, right? The excipients itself, the excipient chemistry, there can be a new polymer that has come to the market that gives a different type of sensory which is compatible with lot of ingredients. So we have to, new technologies always, you have to have a raw material suppliers, no? Raw material suppliers, they do lot of research. You have to be, you should have a complete knowledge on what is happening in raw materials, how the ingredients are upgraded. There can be a new emollient in the market. There can be a new rheological additive in the market. There can be a new surfactant in the market, right? So you have to be, you have to keep on updating what is happening in the raw material, cosmetic raw materials. Then university research and tie-ups. Some of the universities might have a technology and they don't know where to use it. So, or you have envisaged a technology to be launched, but you need more help. So you get the university, tie up with the universities or institutes for research and have a joint research. And of course, the primary thing is company research, right? In your company there will be a research wing and work with the company research to develop new technologies. So new patented technologies are one thing which the formulation development should look for, because ultimately the formulation development is in the front line for the technologies, right? Benchmark evaluation. Now the product brief will have the benchmarks, okay? Benchmarks means this is the product I need. Currently these are the competitors who have this product and we have to be similar to them, but we should have a marketing thing to people to buy our product, no? So benchmark evaluation, benchmark products evaluation. Then formulation development is the aspect, right? Identifying the ingredients in the market, raw material suppliers, no? Identifying the new ingredients that are available in the market, and no, how your formulation can be superior sensory wise, how it will be superior in delivering the actives for efficacy. All those things have to be evaluated, and a formulation has developed, formulation development that is given, right? You have to develop a formula. Now you have developed a formula and formulation stability. No, it has to be microbially stable, meaning the product should be preserved in such a way that it is free from microbial contamination, and it also protects any microbial contamination accidentally given by the consumers who are using the product, right? For a cream, consumer put their fingers and take the cream, and it should, whatever in the accidental contamination, the preservative should take care, right? That is why there are a lot of tests, microbial challenge test given in the pharmacopoeia. You have to do all these studies and ensure that your product is microbially, your formulation is microbially protected, right? Protected from microbial contamination, right? The physical stability, right? It should not change in color, it should not thin down, right? Of course, it should not separate. All those things are physical stability, right? It should not cream, it should not separate, right? Rheologically, it should maintain to a certain level. Then chemical stability, right? You are adding something which can get oxidized, so rancidity setting in the product, or you are using an active which is not stable in that base, right? Or you have some of the excipients you have used are incompatible, right? So you might use an anionic emulsifier with a cationic antiseptic ingredient, then it will not be stable. So initially in design itself you should see all these things. So the chemical stability of the product and sensorial, meaning finally the perfume is totally different. After the stability period, the perfume is totally lost, right? So the rheological aspects, of course, physical, that can contribute to the sensorial aspect of how is the feel of the product. No, it becomes thin, then the feel can change, right? So perfume is very, very important, sensorial aspect, and of course color. The product should not change in color drastically. Yeah, a product which is pure white should not become brown. No, so there are various protocols for stability testing. No, you have to use at RT for 6 months, 50 degrees centigrade for 2 weeks extended to 4 weeks, 45 degrees 3 months extended to 6 months, 40 degrees, right? So various temperature testing in the original pack. What is going to be the final pack? That pack and that material of packaging, the stability should be done, because the packaging can impact stability. So you have to be very careful. You can't test your stability in a glass bottle and finally move to plastic containers, HDPE containers. So you have to have the stability test done in the original pack. So formulation stability, that is very, very critical. Assuming that you have developed the formula, right, then you are doing the stability. That product functionality, right, that is very, very important for product label claims. What you are going to claim on the label, whether the product delivers it. Advertising claims, right? If you use my product, you will not get acne. Do you have any can the claim be substantiated by clinical research and consumer study. Consumer study is very important to see whether the consumer believes the product is efficacious, whether they like the sensory of the product, whether they like the sensories include the skin feel, the perfume, the color, everything. So consumer research, consumer test. So consumer study or consumer research or consumer test, clinical research will actually the study done under control condition, take panel members, 30 panel members who are prone to acne, ask them to use the product for a month and periodically evaluate them clinically whether they are free from acne, whether they are getting it. So like that, same way if it's a anti-blemish cream, anti-wrinkle cream. So clinically it has to be researched and also consumer research. All these things to be done. Before doing all these things, safety. I've stressed this in my second part also. Ultimately, whatever you do, the product, the formulation has to be safe. The formulation has to be safe to the consumers and safe to the environment. Safe to consumers, safe to environment. So, biochemistry, cell line studies are conducted, right? Cell line studies should be conducted in to evaluate the safety of the product, right? Animal studies are not allowed for cosmetics, so cell line studies are developing very rapidly, cell line studies to evaluate the safety of the products. So cell line safety studies have to be conducted and ensure that the product is safe. It doesn't cause damage over long term usage. Why safety is important? Because the personal care products consumer use regularly, right? Years together without any medical supervision, without anybody supervising them. So whatever you do, ultimately the most important thing is the safety to consumers and of course safety to the environment. The ingredients you use should not cause environmental damage. They should be biodegradable. And slowly the packaging materials also should be either recyclable or biodegradable, right? So slowly we have to move towards the biodegradable packaging also. So this is a very, very important aspect. And then the regulatory aspect we discussed. Regulatory is very, very important thing because cosmetic regulatory is in a state of flux. Everything is evolving, and then you have to, if you are in company where your products are going internationally, you are developing products for the entire world, then you have to be aware of the regulations in the entire world. Specifications for a single product for a cream can be different. Then some ingredients might not be allowed in some countries. Some ingredients might be allowed, but they would have restricted the limits, right? So you have to be very, very cautious on these aspects. And product claims also, what you claim on the label, how you label the ingredients, right? All these aspects, the regulatory, this can be a big topic by itself, right? So then the quality, of course the quality, because QA requires all the needs, safety studies, right, is very, very important. Then the product specifications have to be set, right? What is the pH, what is the viscosity, what is the active level content, what is the heavy metal content, right? All the test methods for all those things. What is the total fatty matter? What is the moisture content? No, what is the particle? If it is a makeup or a powder type of product, what is the particle size? Right? Generally, for creams and lotions, we don't specify the particle size, but of course the stability is very, very important, right? So all these aspects have to come, and individual raw materials we have used in the product, right? What is the specification of all those raw materials? Everything should be, have we done 3 months the quality stability studies? If you have done 3 months stability studies, you can give for 2 years expiry. If it is 3 months stability, where are the stability reports? All these things, quality assurance will ask for all the documents. So you should have all the documents, right? Then cost sourcing, right? Then your raw materials have to be sourced. No, at a particular stage you have to go work with the commercial, find out tell who are the suppliers, no, negotiate cost with them. In the product development stage they would have said some cost, but when we are trying to procure, they might say we were telling the cost based on 1 ton bulk supply, but you are asking for 100 kgs. If you are asking for 100 kgs, the cost will be 10 times more. Then what happens? Our costing will, right? We have a target cost, right? We have to have that cost in our mind, no? So we have to work with the commercial to get the right material, right suppliers, right quality at right cost, right? Sourcing, then upscaling. So we have to work with engineering, right? Pilot plant upscaling. You have developed all the things in the lab, right? Some of these activities can go parallelly, right? So upscaling. You have to work with the engineering department, the pilot plant. So from the lab scale, if we upscale the product, what are the parameters have to be set? That has to be thing. And the upscale product also you have to do stability, right? Upscaled product in the pilot plant you have to do stability. Then those reports also have to be submitted to quality assurance, right? All the documentation should be with the quality assurance. Then regulatory approval. Now you have the product, you have the label, everything. So you are manufacturing in a country. So if you are manufacturing in India and if you are manufacturing in a particular state, then that particular state authority has to give license to manufacture that product, right? So that regulatory approval has to be obtained. Of course, when you export to other countries, those countries also have to apply. You have to give the entire document to those countries, and those countries have to approve before you export. So that is one aspect. But even the manufacturing stage, the state you are manufacturing that product, that has to approve the product and the manufacturing location, all those aspects. Then the manufacturing trials. So the product development department should go to the factory, conduct manufacturing trials on the product, right? First three batches have to be done from the pilot plant. See, lab might be a 2 kg batch. From lab to the pilot plant will be 50 kg batch. From pilot plant to factory it might be 1 ton batch. So there it has to be upscaled and the factory trials have to be done, and then those factory trials batches have to also be also can continue stability, and then the technology transfer document have to be submitted to QA, to quality assurance, right? And then from there it will be sent to the manufacturing locations and all those aspects, right? And then quality assurance take over to control the quality of the product. Now, as a formulation scientist, you have to be in touch with the research. Through research, you can, with the university research tie-up, then you have to be in touch with the raw material suppliers to understand the latest technologies in raw material. Then, of course, you have to be in touch with marketing. That is very, very important, because from the initial stage of developing a concept itself, you have to work with marketing for the product before the product brief itself has been given, right? Marketing. So, benchmark product evaluation you have to do, then formulation stability. Most probably here you have to also interact with the, if you are a product development group, you might have an analytical research group in R&D. You have to be in touch with them to find out, what is the, if you have used a chemical to analyze and get the analytical protocol for the product to check the actives, right? So those things, then sensorial, physical, microbial, then you have to microbiology department. You have to be in touch with microbiology department to get all the challenge tests done. Okay, physical, you might have a rheology department also. Sensorial, usually you should have a sensory panel, which check the sensory before sending to the initial consumer test. So, and further the evaluating the perfume and all. Internally itself you should have a QDA panel, quantitative descriptive analysis. It's called QDA, quantitative descriptive analysis. Quantitative descriptive analysis. So you have to set up a panel. So that panel has to independently evaluate whether the perfume, the product developer should be away when you do the stability studies, because he is more attached to the product and might oversee some of the problems coming during the stability studies. So a separate panel should evaluate the sensories and the perfume, including perfume and all. Then product functionality, right? So here again, formulation stability, you have to be in touch with the packaging. So you have to be in touch with marketing, first of all primary, right? Then research, analytical research, microbiology department, right? Then you have to do product functionality, product functionality through clinical research to consumer test. So clinical research, right? you have to have the clinical study department, clinical study and pharmacology department, right? Consumer tests, the marketing, again does the has a wing for consumer studies. So you have to, or the consumer research wing. Big companies have a separate consumer research wing. So that is very, very important. So product label claims, product advertising claims, that product development themselves see whether the product label claims and advertising claims can be substantiated. They should know what is the regulation, what are the claims, and if I say use this product and there will be a 60% reduction in fine lines if you use it for 4 weeks. Do you have sufficient clinical research to prove that, to substantiate that? So product label claims, no, and whether some claims regulatory wise is it allowed. So all those things should be evaluated by the product development department. So safety. Then biochemistry department. Biochemistry department has to do the cell line studies, right? For safety. Then we have the regulatory department, right? But regulatory department usually take the documents and get it approved from various countries and all those things. But as a development chemist or a development scientist, product development, formulation development scientist, you should know the regulations of all the countries, right? The product claim regulation, the ingredients regulation, the final formulation regulation, product regulation. See, you have to have complete documentation, complete specification, and you should be abreast of what is changing, right? So regulatory can give you the thing, but regulatory also sometimes keep all the, but always be sure that you are the product development, formulation development person, and ultimately the formula is your baby. So you should have knowledge in all these aspects. You need not know how to do cell line studies, but you should know what are the cell line studies approved for safety studies, what is happening in the market. You need not know what is the microbiology, but you should know what is the recent test method for challenge test that is approved, microbial challenge test that is approved. You should have knowledge. You might not know all the practical knowledge, but you should know what is required, right? Regulatory also, you can't blame regulatory saying that they should know what is the specification. No, as a product development chemist, you should know the regulatory aspect of the product you are developing from head to tail, right? Head to toe, not tail. Tail is in the middle, head to toe, you should know. Then the quality assurance, very important, each and every aspect. So you have to interact with the regulatory department, you have to interact with quality assurance department, right? So quality assurance, the final document has to go about the product formula, the suppliers, then the ingredient specification, the product specification, formulation specification, then the test methods, then the stability study reports, the safety study reports, right? Then you should see the upscaling reports, right? The product upscaling, pilot plant studies report, then the first 3 batches, what were the observations in the first 3 batches, those reports, everything should be in the file, and it has to be with the quality assurance department. And once the product has gone out of R&D with all the documents, the quality assurance take all the documentations and they work with the regulatory all the documentations, and that is from there it goes out. R&D or product development should not send any documents to any countries, right? Quality assurance is a central part, which interacts with countries for the product documentations. Or if you have developed the product in one country and the other country wants the documentation of the product because they want to manufacture that product in that country also, then it is the quality assurance who sends the document to that country, not product development. So too many things done by, same thing done by too many people is a problem there also. So it has to be organized. Cost and sourcing, it is a very, very important. So you have to, the formulation development people should work very closely with the commercial department. So here marketing, next to marketing is the packaging development. We have to work, formulation development scientists should work closely with packaging development department, because they should know what is being developed. For the stability test they need the packaging, right? So packaging development department also, the commercial department, then pilot plant engineers and the factory for the factory trials. So formulation development is, the development is you should have people who are technologically strong and enterprising also, because ultimately you say this is my product, this is my formula, this is my product. No, it is so many people's contribution has gone to your formula, right? So many people's contribution have gone to the formula, and a perfect teamwork can deliver a product that is consumer winning, right? So this is what I want to share with you in this part 38. I think it was interesting to you, because before telling you how to develop a cream or a lotion, you have to understand it is, the industry is not just something which you develop and launch. It has so many functions working together to develop a product and bringing it to the market, right? And formulation development department play a very important role in the thing, that they have to put together so many things about the product before it is released to the market, right? Thank you very much for listening to me, and we will connect in the next session. Till then, bye to you all. Take care, be healthy, be smiling. Bye.